I'm Casey Viera. It is amazing what one bad loss and one poor injury report can do to the morale of an entire fan base.
I'm Jeff Garcia, host of Locked On Spurs, and I'm going to make a motion right now. I'm going to make a motion to the Spurs. Keep the Fiesta jersey as the primary jersey all season long.
And I'm Devin Brown. Welcome to another great show.
This is Locked On Spurs Squad Show, the twice-a-week show where Spurs talk gets real. No filters, no fluff, just raw takes, sharp opinions, and straight-up passion for the game. The way only Locked On Podcast Network knows how. Let's drop some dimes and squad up. The Spurs Squad Show starts now.
Indeed it does. And today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers, you bet $5. If your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. Head on over to FanDuel.com to get started. The Spurs Squad Show right here on Locked On Spurs on a Thursday night that everybody, for the most part, in Spurs fandom is fired up. And most of it, not particularly on the good side of things. Jeff Garcia, the man in the middle from the day-to-day pod here on Locked On Spurs. Course, titled Locked On Spurs, NBA champion Devin Brown. Gentlemen, it's been a week that we've been doing this so far, and we've seen the ebbs and flows of a season already. And today we get an emotional fan base. Last week, Devin, they were hyped. Today, they're, I guess, a different type of emotional.
Yeah, the Spurs are sending us all over the place. And you know what? We got a ton of games left.
That we do. No,
yeah,
we do. All right.
It's a marathon, kids. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. And in this bend of the marathon, we start with a guy who has been part of the conversation of the marathon. De'Aaron Fox, we continue to wait and wonder when we are going to see number 4 on the floor for San Antonio, silver and black. The answer will be, at least minimum, not on Friday. The Spurs saying today that, well, that hamstring strain is going to keep him out one more time. He'll be sitting in for the 8th time in as many games to start the new campaign. And coming off of a tough loss, 2 consecutive losses, obviously a fan base looking for the second best player on the team to give them some good vibes, good energy. And well, they might maybe this weekend, but they're not going to get it at least on Friday. Jeff, you're the bone I'm starting to pick with today because it was last Tuesday, or not Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays ago, I was being skeptical about Fox, about the Harper thing. And you said I was being a Debbie Downer. You said I just needed to pump the brakes a little bit. And I don't like in this circumstance saying that I was right because me being right is not the right side of things. That's the wrong outlook. But can you understand why I was being pessimistic now?
I do understand where you were coming from, and I also understand that he's been out there practicing or shooting around with the team, so that gave me a little bit of hope that maybe his inevitable return was possibly versus Phoenix or versus LAL, the Lakers. That didn't come to pass. Now we find out he's not playing against the Rockets. Not good, not good. This could be a case of the Spurs just being the Spurs when it comes to really taking care of their player, and you figure a guy who they invested how much money in, they're going to want to be damn sure that he is 1,000,000,000% healthy before he steps on the court and plays a real NBA game. But, man, you know, I'm surprised Spurs fans are not having PTSD right now, thinking this is Kawhi Leonard all over again. Can't play. Is he out again? What's going on? Hamstring, not hamstring. So there you go.
In the grand scheme of things, what's 8 games, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's exactly what you're saying, why we're all kind of like, okay, what next? Like, what's the next shoe to drop here? Because, it's not the Kawhi thing. It's nowhere near close to
not
even
close to that.
But there have been things that have prompted conversations and why people are like, all right, so what's happening here? He did say a month ago now on media day, he said, I'm good to go. I'm just waiting for the team's sign off. I know I'm not playing in the preseason, but I'm good to go, waiting on them. That was a month ago. So now we continue to wait. But Devin, you obviously been around this and you have a better idea of the recovery window from this. Like Jeff said, he is out there. You go to the game pregame, you see him working out in some capacity. From your experience, that's a good sign and a good start.
Yeah, it is. And, let me just say this, that, when he does come back, and he is the second best player on the team. Teased you last year with some good games. We've seen him in Sacramento, the numbers that he puts up in waves, 30, 40, sometimes, 50 he'll throw at you. So when he does come back, you expect him to play the rest of the season all the way through, healthy. So whether it's another game or two, whether it's 3 or 4 games, just know that when he comes back, and let's say the Spurs go on a 5 or 6 game win streak, all this is going to go out the window, right? Everybody's going to love him because that's what he means. But, the biggest person, and I don't want to jump ahead, the biggest person that's definitely want him to come back is Mr. Wembanyama.
Yeah. You know what? And I would actually add on there as well, if you could do like a 1A being Fox for Wemby, for him, for a guy to come back as Fox. A 1B for me is Luke Cornett. I mean, and we're getting vibes of last year again. Think about this. The 2 guys they brought in to back up Wemby have been out. Olynyk barely got returned versus the Lakers, played minimal minutes, didn't really make an impact. That could just be, getting his game legs. But Cornett, the guy you paid a penny for to get, has been out. And again, we're seeing exactly what happens when Wemby's not on the court and there's not an adequate backup for him. But circling back to Fox, Fox definitely cures a lot of what ails the Spurs in these last 2 games. I know we're going to get to it in a bit. Scoring droughts as we saw versus Phoenix and the Lakers. Just a steady hand, controlling the ball, and again, more on the guard situation later. But nevertheless, if you're Wemby, you got to have your co-star right now. And Casey, I don't know. I mean, has a co-star emerged, like an interim co-star emerged since Fox has been out? Maybe Castle is the closest.
But even then, if he is the closest, it's not like he's taken anything and run with it to firmly. The fact that we're guessing that we can't, not that you would expect to put labels on anybody after 8 games, but the fact that we haven't done that would kind of suggest that not really, right? My thing is, go ahead, Devin.
Okay, well, I just want to say this about Castle because of the competitor that he is. He's trying to be that guy. But here's where he's getting himself in trouble. To be the point guard of the San Antonio Spurs, it involves a lot, right? You got to get people, their shots and their spots. You run that high pick and roll. You got to get downhill. Well, here's where you really need De'Aaron is because defensively, you saw Castle a lot guarding Devin Booker the other night. You saw him guarding Luka. There's hand gestures that you saw him doing. Get away. He kept telling Sohan, go take him, because Castle wants that assignment. It's tough right now on Castle, and I love it, and I know the Spurs love it, that he's trying to guard the other team's best player, but yet he's trying to be the point guard. That's very tough, okay? So this is why Fox will be such, an asset when he is healthy and when he comes back.
Yeah, and kind of a ripple effect of this, too, is just, again, Devin, the delay of seeing this team at 100%, and that's, for me, that's what's frustrating because on paper, at near health, this team is very formidable for any NBA team, East or Western Conference. Right. So I'm frustrated with that. I want to see, and I'm sure Spurs fans want to see a healthy team or close to it with their main weapons out on the court.
All right. Remember this. I'm sorry, Casey. Just one thing.
No.
Okay. So
more substance to me, I promise.
Remember this. The way the Spurs look at it, from what I'm familiar with, it's 25 games at a time. So right now, even though they've lost these other 2, right now they're sitting 5-2. They're going to take that. They're going to get the guys better, but they'll take that right now.
I don't think in the grand scheme of things, like you said, the 25-game window, if you told anyone 5-2 in their first 7, regardless of the way it went, if they dropped the 2-1 first, won the next 5, you know what I'm getting at. Anybody would have taken 5-2 right now. And in the present day, for the most part, they have played well. I mean, the 5-2 is indicative, I would say, of how they would play. And my concern, though, that I do have is I don't worry about the impact on the present, because even if Fox was here, are they really going to do much better in all likelihood than 5-2 anyways? 6-1. You want to give them the game last night? Okay, 6-1. Fine. So it's not like any immediacy. I'm like worried about that. Jeff, my concern is now going forward and jokingly, I got on you off the front there, but I do think it's a concern because you just want to see him and Harper and Castle together healthy at the same time.
Yeah.
And when it was a conversation we had the other day, it was, I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year. I'm just not.
I still think it will happen. Maybe sometime around, close to the All-Star break. I think that it'll come back. If the Spurs are taking this type of measures with Fox and delaying his return, if that's what we think that's going on, we don't know. But imagine what they can do with Harper. He in the 2 weeks he can be healed up. Okay, all right, Coach Mitch, doctors, I'm ready to go. Well, not too quick there, big young guy. Hang on for a bit. So that could be delayed, but I still have hope that we will see this triple guard lineup out there at some point this season, and I'm excited. We talked about how Wemby and Devin, you brought it up, how Wemby may miss Fox, obviously, and I brought up how he could be missing Cornette right now. So I found this very interesting. So I looked up some data here. This is all for you stat heads out there. With Wemby and Harper together on the court, they are a net plus 33.3. They were a plus 8 on the offensive rating at 123.6, and defensively, they hold teams to 90.3 with those two guys on the court. Now check this out. The moment Harper is not on the court with Wemby, the net rating is a -2. The offensive rating plummets to 108.4. And the defensive rating is still pretty good considering because it's still Wemby, but you see a big loss there at 110.5 defensive rating. So you got to wonder, is Harper really the guard that can mesh well with Wemby along with Fox, and maybe you leave Castle to do his thing at an off-guard spot?
I mean, but that's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
We're not going to know until we can get the three on the floor at the same time. I agree entirely. Entirely. And I want to get it to a point where it's not a hypothetical where you see it. And that's what's got me worried and what people call me pessimist about, I'm like, hey, I'm just going by what's being given to me. Devin, I want to pick your brain here for a second because I know before we've talked about chemistry, getting back into the swing of things. Is it different from a point guard standpoint when it comes to that? Because you're responsible for just, quarterbacking everything, being the directive. So in your mind, when it comes to meshing a guy like Fox back in, how much of a residual impact does it have on everybody else when you consider things like a minutes restriction, load management back-to-back, you know what I mean? Getting at the same time, they have to navigate that injury too. How much is there kind of a residual impact with that on everybody else?
Well, there's different situations you'll be put in with different groups in practice, in shoot around, things like that. So you'll be prepared for anything that goes on. Because remember, it's the same thing if I have a starting five that goes out there and then on the jump ball, my guy twists the ankle and he goes out, somebody's gonna have to plug in and he's just gonna have to play, right? So you do that. You do that with everybody. And someone like a De'Aaron Fox, he's an all-star. He's been seeing all the games. That's one thing I will give him credit. He's been to, all these games. And so he's seeing the flow, the action. He knows he's been around the off guards, Keldon and all these other guys. He's been around them long enough to know where they score from. Great point guards like De'Aaron Fox, they'll pick up on that real quick. All right. It doesn't take a quarter. It doesn't take a game. Sometimes it just takes 2 or 3 possessions. So De'Aaron knows where these guys like to score from. Number one, obviously it's Wemby, and then himself, and then the other guys. He's got a feel for what they do. So it doesn't take much.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out, but we just know it's not coming tomorrow night, Friday night, in the Emirates Cup opener against the Rockets. As Kevin Durant and company check into town. No De'Aaron Fox, no Luke Cornette, as Jeff mentioned, both out. Jeremy Sohan questionable from his calf situation, as is Kelly Olynyk. Both of them, of course, back the other day in that Laker loss. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk about a guy who's going to be a big-time beneficiary of Fox's imminent return. of course, Victor Wembanyama, because right now it feels a little bit different after that West Coast road trip, comparatively speaking, to where we were maybe about a week ago when talking about Wemby's game. Got all that and a little bit more coming up right here on the Spurs Squad Show on Locked On Spurs. But first, we're going to talk to you about our friends over at Gusto. Now, let's be real. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets, any of that stuff. That's where Gusto comes in to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, HR, so you can focus on running your business and, above all else, supporting your team, because that's what it's all about. So what's Gusto? Well, it's a all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team everything you want. You want it simple, transparent, fast. You want all that stuff. So whether you're hiring, onboarding, paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place, no hassle or hidden fee. So try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. Going to get 3 free months when you run your first payroll. That's 3 free months of payroll, gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. One more time, gusto.com/LockedOnNBA, as we try to figure out how the Spurs can get back on the money side of things, and more in particular, their star big man, Mr. Victor Wembanyama. All right, bring back our 2 buddies, Jeff Garcia, the host of the title pod, Locked On Spurs, and, of course, Mr. NBA champion, Devin Brown, a guy who has not played the part of a champion the past couple nights, Victor Wembanyama, coming off of a performance, 2 consecutive performances where there has just been a level of, what do you want to call it? Whatever that sound that Jeff just made, whatever that was, there's a level of that, because
it's not generational play. I can tell you that much.
Not generational play. Whatever that noise Jeff made, that is the perfect way to categorize it, because this has not been the norm. It has not been the norm to see something that we have praised so fantastically for so long, for the duration of his very brief career so far, and look so completely much a polarizing opposite. Right. And that's what it's come down to. So, Devin, I'll start with you. We talked about it last night on the after the Laker defeat, was that it seems that this blitz, almost kind of like engage 8 football defense that teams are running at Victor, it's working, at least in some capacity. Not even entirely from an X's and O's per se, but from a mental standpoint, he's getting frustrated. He's playing recklessly, committing bad offensive fouls. We saw that in the fourth quarter yesterday. Got 2 of them that decided him getting, fouling out of the game. How is that working so effectively right now? And what does Victor have to do to counter that?
Well, we talked about it previous shows. Going back to the Miami game, Miami was really, really physical with them, and teams have followed the last 2 or 3 games after that. And that's just what it is. So right now, that's what it's going to be. I can guarantee you, the Rockets are going to be just as physical, if not more, than the teams. And if that's what it's going to take to keep this young superstar down, then that's what it's going to be. Now, this is what makes great players great, is he's going to figure it out. It may be next game. It may be the game after that, but that young man is going to figure it out. And that just comes from, like I said, great players. They just have that niche about getting better and figuring out and knowing, what to do. So he's going to get it figured out. But, right now, like you're saying about not only is it a blitz, I mean, they're coming and they are absolutely just manhandling him right now. So we got to look for some adjustments here against the Rockets.
Absolutely. Yeah. We talked about this too, Devin, on the mother show, Locked On Spurs. How even when the pass is midair, they're already collapsing on him. They're just attacking him, and you can see them pushing him out of the sweet spots. And here's the thing: the NBA, they had released some practice footage from the Spurs training camp, and there's a moment there, and I thought about this when I'm seeing Wemby getting manhandled. where Mitch Johnson tells Wemby, hey, if you don't like it, if you're out of position, just throw it back out and reset. So I'm thinking, okay, it could be as simple as that. But I think he's trying to force some things sometimes. Like he'll get it. He'll try to beat the double team. He even said it after the loss versus the Lakers, said that he's been kind of shocked at how fast the defenses have been on him. Okay, fine. You have 2 tastes of that with Phoenix and Portland. Houston's going to do that tomorrow night. So as much as Wemby needs to adjust, I got to look at Mitch too. What is Mitch going to scheme to help Wemby, beat those quick double teams? What about his teammates? Are they going to step up? Can if it's as simple as he's getting double teamed quick, all right, we'll pop it back out and kind of rely on you, Julian Champagnie, to knock down the shot. Devin Vassell, Castle, somebody to step up and make life a little easier for Wemby. Now, Casey, I know you want to transition soon, but let me just give you some.
No, how about it? No, yeah, how about it? Yeah.
All right, some quick numbers of just how much of I don't want to say a plummet, but just a drop off of Wemby's number. In the last 3 games, he's averaging about 35 minutes per game. Mm-hmm. He's averaging 18.3 so far this season. He's averaging 26 points per game. So that's an 8-point drop off right there. His rebounds are down to 11. He averages about 13 on the season. His assists are about the same. But here's where it gets interesting. Turnovers. So on the season, he's averaged about 2, a little close to 3, but about 2. Mm-hmm. In the last 3 games and the struggles, 5 turnovers per game. 5 turnovers per game. So he's not doing himself any favors as well. Now, I know, Devin, you played the game, and maybe sometimes it's not just all on the individual cause of the turnovers. It could be a pass to somebody else, and they fumble it or they bobble it and turnover. But you're seeing a lot of these collectively, and Wemby included, in the last 2-3 games, some self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, go back to the Phoenix game, and I know we had talked about it. I mean, he's realized he's 7'5", so when he extends it up here and he throws that pass, it may look good leaving his hand, but as a guy catching it, you're like, who are you throwing that to? Yeah. So, Jeff, I want to hit on a point that you said about, maybe this is on Mitch a little bit. Mm-hmm. I haven't been fortunate enough. This is a secret. I haven't been fortunate enough to go to the Rock.
What you say right now.
Yeah, I haven't been fortunate to go to the Rock yet. But there was a man that coached here before that had some success. I'm pretty sure there's a playbook in his office still. If Mitch wants to sneak, I don't know if he has to sneak in there or what, if he has the key to his office, but get in there because all the answers to the test are in that room.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we look at the sideline coaches and there's like Popovich wearing curly hair, and trying to disguise as Mitch Johnson.
Hey, you see the earpiece you're wearing? How about one of the coaches has one of those on? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I see a comment in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it, but I'm going to try my best. Perora. I hope I butchered that, but he says not generational play. He's making kind of light of what I said. And he goes, sure, 2 off games, hasn't responded yet to the new defensive plan against him, but that's a team answer. Obviously, first of all, I was messing around and just saying not generational play, but it's still not generational play.
Yeah, not wrong. It wasn't.
Not wrong. It's not generational play. Yeah. And sure, maybe, we need to pump the brakes a little bit, maybe not slam on them, but maybe lightly tap them because, you're right. It has been 2 games, and you cannot expect every player to play at peak performance game in and game out. But this is who he is. This is who he's been hyped up to be. He is your franchise player. He needs to step up. And again, Devin, you probably saw it. I mean, it was probably far and few between, but I'm pretty sure Timmy, Manu, and Tony, they had their off nights as well. So it happens even to the biggest star players on your roster. But I personally am not worried about Wemby's struggles of late. I for sure feel like he'll definitely bounce back. Hopefully it's tomorrow night versus the Rockets. And by the way, what's with Alperen Sengun? He sees Wemby's jersey. He just looks like he wants to be Jokic every time. He really gives Wemby some fits.
Sengun recently has been trending closer to Jokic than the other way. So if we're being fair, Sengun's really good.
Yeah. Sengun's really good. He gets up for games versus Wemby So we'll have to see how Wemby responds. I'd love to see how the team's going to respond to this 2-game losing skid. And what better way to get that bad taste out of your mouth than beating the Rockets, who are on a 5-game winning streak?
Yeah. I think what we've learned about Victor has been what we will see tomorrow and going forward will be very telling, because we've never seen him go into a prolonged slump. We haven't seen it. His rookie year, you take things with a grain of salt. He's a rookie, whatever. I understand. Anything, people are going to get on him. It happens. He's a rookie. You expect it comes with the territory. You take everything with a grain of salt. This is different because he has not gone into a sustained situation of poor play with reasonable expectations surrounding him, because he is a star now. He is someone we wax poetically about on this program. All of our, beyond us, everyone wax poetically about. So it's only fair that when he plays as poorly as he did the past 2 games, people, if you're looking at it from the complete unbiased lens, you can't say that, like, okay, this type of thing is acceptable. You know what I mean? Because he has not been that good. So that's why I'm excited for tomorrow, because we haven't seen Victor play with this level of accountability on his back. It's everything for the most part. Fun, good, Wemby, Fiesta colors, whatever. But now there is something that's out there. There's a pressure on him to perform, and I'm excited to see that against the Rockets tomorrow.
Yeah, and I didn't even dig deeper into the stats on how Wemby's been playing the last few games. I mean, look at this. Right now, in the last 3 games, he's shooting about 37% from the field. And, he loves to take those threes, right? He's at 16% from the 3 shots in the last 3 games. He's taking 4 attempts in the last 3. He's barely making, on average, 0.7. So it's across the board with Wemby. It's not just the points, the rebounds, and the turnovers. His shot is off. And again, you got to tip your cap to these defenses, at least in the last 2 games. In 3 games, you want to throw in the other game, they're giving him fits. So, again, Mitch, everybody got to see how this whole team collectively is going to respond.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. So it's interesting that you just said that about the threes. So the last 3 games, he's taken 4, average of 4 a game.
Average 4 attempts,
Hey, if there's any way, you can pull up the stats. When they won those first 2 or 3 games, you remember we talked about this. He was not taking threes. So what's happened to him?
I have it here. In the regular season, he's averaging about 3. So he's upped it a bit by 1. So in the last
what I'm saying is the first 3 games that they won, when he was putting up the outstanding numbers, it was the 3 attempts were not at 4, nowhere close to that.
You're right. Yeah, so, during that 5-game,
during the 5-game streak.
Okay, it was about 2. It was 2 on average. 2.
It was right. Yeah, so what I'm saying is what I'm trying to get in the mind of Victor, right? So as they're blitzing me, as they're laying this lumber on me, these guys are hitting me. He's floated out to the 3-point line. That's concerning.
Bro,
that is very concerning.
That's a good point. Hey, Casey, can I ask you something real fast? Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
If I hope, knock on wood, they don't, but if they do, I mean, can they consider the competition? It is Houston. That's a tough team. If they drop their 3rd straight, is it time to worry? Is there something wrong, or is it just simply, hey, maybe they're just not there yet, and they still need some time to come together?
I think it's closer to that. I don't think it's time to worry, but I think it's a real level of humility that they're going to learn real fast. If this game on Friday night doesn't go their way and they lose their 3rd straight in a prime and a 2nd in a row on prime time, especially if they don't
literally on prime time on Amazon Prime,
prime time. See what you did there. They don't play well against another rival team. That's probably going to have half Rockets fans in the building, because you hate to say it, but the Rockets are good. They show up. Fans show up. They do. That's a bad look. It is. But I think that's a lesson in humility that they're going to take from it. Am I panicking? No, because I think if I were to hit panic with this team, it's relative to the expectations. Would I be panicking if this team had 1 win right now? Oh yeah, absolutely. But if we're going to stay level-headed relative to the expectations of what they are, which is a team that's mired in all likelihood at that 5 through 10 spot in the Western Conference.
Right.
Looked like they were going to crack that upper half, but if we're being realistically to what it was, that 5 through 10 spot, we know there's going to be ebbs and flows. There just are. For every 5-game win streak that they have, there's going to be a 3. And if it follows with 3 in a row, that it is what it is. But if we have it with reasonable level expectations like that, I think it's kind of to be expected. It's kind of to be expected because this is not Oklahoma City. This is not Denver. This is a team that is very young. And I hate, this is coming from a guy who hates the very young excuse. I hate it, but that's what it is. They've never been in the playoffs. They haven't played relevant basketball collectively, pretty much with the exception of maybe Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox to a certain extent. Most of them haven't played relevant basketball. So that's a roundabout way of getting back to it. To what you initially asked, then no, it's not time to panic, but I do think it's a real lesson in humility for sure.
The biggest thing is now you see why De'Aaron got his extension. Now, we've had talks before about, well, they're lining, things up to go get this, megastar. Well, the other team has to agree with this megastar. So what it is for the time being is you give Fox that money because, yes, you love this roster, but you're seeing it right now that De'Aaron Fox is huge because he can go put up big numbers on a nightly basis.
Jeff?
Yeah, and I still go back to what I said in the first segment. I think Fox kind of close to cures a lot of stuff what the Spurs are seeing in the last few games. Offensive droughts, check. Fox got that. Second reliable star to go to if Wemby's having an off game, as we've seen the last 2 games. Check. Yeah, Fox. Oh no, Harper's out. Maybe Castle. Yeah, he can play that 1 spot, but maybe he's comfortable at the 2. Perfect. Castle, do your thing at the 2. Fox, you're at the 1. That's how much I think he really, really helps this Spurs team offensively and defensively. Let's not forget, he's a pretty good defender as well. This team loves to get in transition. I think when you lost Harper, that was a guy that could really get up the court, play downhill. You replace that with Fox. But yeah, I think the Spurs really need to get Fox back ASAP. It's unfortunate it's not against Houston, but it is what it is. Hopefully he'll come back soon.
I like the way this conversation's going, so I think we should hit on it a little bit more. I know I have the Project Marvel stuff on deck, but let's push that back a little bit because I think this is really where we're getting a lot out of it right now, and a lot of important conversations, and some that Devin brought up, and part of the reason I want to stay on this subject on the other side of our ad break coming up, because De'Aaron Fox, as we know, matters, and if the Spurs are going to be doing anything special, it matters. So we're going to hit on that and some more of the Project Marvel talk and a little bit fun the rest of the way right here on the Spurs Squad Show on Locked On Spurs. But before we do that, it's time to talk about FanDuel. All right, of course, our title sponsor of the show. And as you know, and much like there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, whatever it may be, FanDuel, they're versatile like that. They have the live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks, all that good stuff. So right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets. And so when you do that, well, you get $300 when you win your first $5 in bets. So how do you do it? How do you get there? Well, you head on over to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel. Again, $300 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. Take care of yourself. They'll take care of you. FanDuel. All right, let's go back and revisit that De'Aaron Fox conversation, because I think it's a good place to continue and analyze a little bit going forward for a Spurs team that's going to need it as we bring back Jeff and Devin. This, of course, the Spurs Squad Show right here on Locked On Spurs. First time hanging out with us. It's our twice a week round table where we hit on everything that we're feeling good about, feeling bad about, feeling fired up about. We appreciate all the engagement that you guys have had up to this point. It's been great.
It's like a therapy couch. Therapy couch. It's like a therapy couch for Spurs.
Therapy couches are that much more therapeutic when the team is playing relevant basketball.
Yes.
And it's relevant, Before we started, we were talking about how last night on the postcast, Devin and I. It's 12:30 in the morning. That game didn't end until 12:15. 12:30 in the morning, and we had 150 people that were all in there, all fired up. And this is great for San Antonio. Yeah. Again, I shouted them out on the air last night. They deserve it. I was like, you guys are a bunch of sickos. Like, go to bed. Stop listening.
Hey, Devin, how much coffee did you drink this morning?
Just my regular 4 cups.
Thursday, No, but in all seriousness, I was like, shout out to you guys, man, because you're prioritizing what you have to say. Spurs basketball, the vibes over your sleep right now. You probably shouldn't be doing that, but we appreciate you doing that. Point being, to get back to what I was going for, was that the Spurs have relevancy and the passion, and we were talking about that, and that they matter. And going back to the De'Aaron Fox thing, the value that he does have to this team, and you said, Devin, that 100 or 155, I don't know where I got 155, $229 million is looking very reasonable right now for the Spurs when you see how they've just struggled at that point guard spot without Fox, now without Harper. You hate to use the word exposed, but this is kind of exposed Stefan Castle as not really a true point guard, but better off the ball. And I think now, like you said, we're really learning De'Aaron Fox's value, or at minimum, that this offense centered around Victor really needs competent point guard play. And something we were reminded of last season too.
Not just last season, the last 25 years.
Fair enough.
If we go back to when Tony was here and hearing all the stories, because that was before I got there, hearing all the stories about how hard Pop was on him. Well, it meant something. And Pop saw we have everything else taken care of. We need someone that's going to get these guys the ball and be able to create shots on his own. And that's what Tony did. And what did that lead to? A lot of success. So, when you look at the way the Spurs run their offense and what it is that they're trying to do scheme-wise on offense, I'm going to give you a scenario. Castle has done enough where you can play him on the ball. Now, imagine De'Aaron Fox at that right elbow, Wemby at that left elbow. You hit De'Aaron Fox, and you set that pick and roll in the middle with Wemby and Fox. You have Fox coming to his strong hand, left hand, downhill, and you have Wemby either rolling or popping, whatever he has going that night. Preferably rolling right now, Jeff. I love those stats, by the way. Preferably rolling right now, and you have lobs at the rim all night. That's what the Spurs are looking at doing. So, the importance of Fox being healthy is if it takes sacrificing 2 or 3 more games to have him the rest of the season, let's do it. I'm in. But if he comes back, plays 3 or 4 games, they load manage him, and then he's in and out, it's going to tweak that injury.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to follow up with. I said, when he's back, I want him back. Not back for a couple of games.
All the way, Jeff.
Let's just rock and roll. Let's go forward. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what the Spurs need. But overall, it just goes back to show the importance of Fox, why the Spurs invested that money into him, giving him that extension when there was people shouting from the mountaintops, "What are you doing, Spurs? Why are you going to give this guy, such a large bag there?" Well, now you're seeing the worth of it, the value of Fox, and I hope it's sooner than later because I think the moment Fox is back, and maybe give him a couple games, but once he gets those legs back in, it could be a very good team, very, very good team.
It goes to show you sometimes basketball and a reminder, I guess is a better word, is that 2K GMs aren't real things. No, and just because that's $60 million a year for average annual value that Fox is going to have matches very conveniently with Giannis or Luka or whoever it may be like that. When it comes to the actual on the floor product, I think that matters probably quite a bit more. And we're seeing again that this is a product of it. I want to go back to the idea of this impacting Victor because we've really learned the past 2 years with Trey Jones, who was there running point Not that the bar should have been tremendously high for Trey Jones anyways, but it wasn't much of a relief. Even the difference from Castle to Trey Jones, even Castle's a rookie, just an imperfect science. You saw more out of it than obviously Fox. And then the backup big. I knew we were going to try to hit off to a front, but now that we have a little more time now, I think that's really important. I want to revisit that point that you said, Devin, that the physicality is getting to Victor and it's killing his assertiveness on the offensive end. That's a very, I haven't heard that perspective before, which is forcing him to take those outside shots that you were saying. Does bringing back Luke Cornett when he is healthy, presumably, how much, even if it's that extra 5 to 10 minutes, whatever it is, just to either put Vic on the bench or move Vic off the ball to the 4, I guess. How much of an impact does that play, even in the smallest capacity?
Well, Luke Cornett is, I was impressed with him in Boston. He was, there were playoff games. He was tremendous for them. And a lot of it, didn't have to do with scoring. It's just, it's certain things about, certain big guys. He reminds me of Sean Marks. I played with Sean Marks. Sean Marks played with the Spurs and played with me in New Orleans as well. They just have a niche. They know where to go. They don't make a whole lot of mistakes. And they do a ton of things right? And that's what Luke Cornett does. He just does a tremendous job of playing the game of basketball. He hasn't been around, Wemby all that long, but you can tell they have a chemistry. He knows to give Wemby his space, or if he needs me to come over there and help him and things like that. Now, let's hit on if he comes in there to spell Wemby. Listen, Luke Cornett's one of those guys that you want him to play 15, 20 minutes. He's doing so well out there, he might end up playing 35 minutes. That's what I love about him. So when you do that, now you're going, well, hey, man, Victor's been over there marinating like a chicken breast. We got to get him back in the game. So that's what he does. Luke Cornett, and I, we talked about Fox so much, but they really miss him. And I was wondering, I don't even remember when he got hurt. I know it was an ankle, right? Ankle.
Yeah.
I don't even remember seeing it.
I don't remember seeing it either. It was just like, I think he even had a good game before they announced that he was out.
New Orleans game.
Yeah. And I'm glad you were talking about Cornett right now, because I was looking up some of the numbers again of just when Cornett is on the floor and off the floor. So obviously he backs up Wemby, right? So whenever Cornett is out there and Wemby's on the bench, off the court there, Spurs are still humming. So again, very small sample size. Again, a total, I think he's only played about 33 minutes before he got hurt. But nevertheless, the offensive rating, 122.5, good for a plus 6.9. Defensive rating, 101.4, good for a negative 14.2. Negative is good, everybody, on the defensive rating. Good for a net rating of 21.1. Yeah, he keeps them going defensively, and he keeps them going offensively.
And
no, go ahead, Devin. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did 30 seconds, Casey.
No, take your time. Like I said before, whatever you're going to say is more wise.
Hey, Devin, we still got about 20 minutes to kill, so go for it.
Okay. Hey, so the reason why those and it's keep throwing me these stats because I'm giving it. You're cooking up all this information out of me. So here we go. So I'm going to tell you why those stats mean a lot, because Luke Cornett is part of that second group, which a healthy Dylan Harper is a part of that second group. So when you have Harper, the reason why Harper's had so much success is because he's playing with the Luke Cornett as opposed to Harper playing with Wemby. Now, I know you guys love it, but listen to this here. You're going to take Harper's aggressiveness away from him playing him too much with Wemby, because Harper's going to be trying to defer to Wemby, because that's what everybody wants to do. We got to get the big fella involved. Well, as you see, when he comes in with that second unit and it's him and Keldon and Cornett, Dylan Harper is ultra aggressive, getting downhill, getting to his spot, getting shots, and he's been great. So we need a healthy Cornett out there. Yeah. And Harper needs to come back, but Mitch is going to have his work cut out for him with the lineups.
Hey, Devin, you want the numbers with Cornett and Harper on the court together?
I love it.
All right. So again, very, very, very small sample size considering these guys, got hurt. But together, they've been on the court 35 minutes. So Harper and Cornett on the court together, 35 minutes. There you go. Offensive rating, 120.3, good for a plus 4.6. Defensive rating, 108.7, negative 7.0, good for a net rating of 11.6. Again, these two guys, as a secondary unit, keep this Spurs team going and in the games. There's literally minimal drop-off.
It's one of those, it's refreshing to hear from Devin, I think, in the subject matter, because I go back to it. It's easy for Jeff and I to be over here and just throw out the stats, because that's what guys who sit on their couch like us do. We see the stats and we just rush to judgment what this is. But it feels like that's one of the stats when you have someone who's been there, done that, and it validates the eye test as well. I don't know. I find it interesting because that's one of those things where that stat, all those numbers that he just hit you with, it does validate it with the eye test. What it goes back to now, though, it's like, okay, can we just get everyone here to the party?
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I've been saying. I cannot wait to see this team at 100, close to 100%. I know nobody's, I know they even rise as we speak right now. They got some real bumps and bruises already. I understand that nobody's ever 100%, but just get close to that. And my goodness, I am like just drooling to wait for that day when I look at that injury report, I go, oh, just a couple of G Leaguers got assigned, and that's about it. Yeah, okay, let's have some fun tonight.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah,
hopefully. I don't know. We got a little bit of ways to go to figure out, and I think it's kind of we just got to remind ourselves again. 8 games.
Yeah,
that's what comes with expectations, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Hey, look, even the Thunder lost everybody. Look, the mighty Thunder, they lost a game. See, it happens.
Yep. They're not going to do that a whole lot this year.
No,
all right, almost time for us to get out of here. We're going to talk about obviously the big steps in Project Marble, trending towards in all likelihood, barring the unforeseen, the Spurs are going to get a new arena downtown and a reunion of sorts coming back on the hardwood in just a couple of weeks. Got that on deck right here on Spurs Squad Show on Locked On Spurs. All right, quick break. Bring them back in, Jeff and Devin. Let's discuss the week that was, or the Tuesday that was. You know, we were live while the vote was happening. Props A and props B for those checking in from the outside. Of course, long story short, whether the Spurs will get access to a new arena downtown, or the rodeo facilities down here in San Antonio will get a facelift. I think the vote kind of collectively went the way expected it to. It was highly contested. It was contentious here.
Really,
very contentious. I think the overall
threats were made to the mayor. Y'all remember that?
It got, honestly, in the grand scheme of
physical threats towards the mayor.
It got way too heated on both sides. It got way too heated. You know, it's unfortunate some things happen, but at the end of the day, that's a different conversation. This ain't a politics show. You're not watching us for politics. You're watching us for basketball.
Yeah, watch Locked On Spurs for that boring stuff. Yeah.
Jeff's the one that brings all the politics. See, that's where it hurts us having the news tie, because you got to be unbiased with it, right?
Well, I mean, hey, the Locked On Network is about local events, local stuff that's impacting the team locally, and you couldn't get more local than that, than a prospective Spurs arena with residents bickering about it.
Yep, and Jeff Stephanopoulos right there in the middle held it right down the middle.
That was tough, man. I had to really just watch what I was saying sometimes.
Okay, so to get it back on track a little bit, now that things are trending the way for sure of looking like a downtown arena, Devin, I'm going to start your reaction because we weren't with us later in the night on Tuesday. Your reaction to knowing that the Spurs are going to get a new home.
Just a great job, by the Holt family doing what they did. As far as just getting around town and showing face, the team, congratulations to the team, because, some of these young guys, these 20, 21, 22, man, they're getting ready to step foot into something that's supposed to be amazing. And, the foundation, myself and the other guys that were a part of, laying the foundation down for these guys to be able to walk in there into something like this. I mean, just, congratulations. Make sure that, you're doing the right things and move this organization forward. But, congratulations to the city and congratulations to the Spurs, to the people of San Antonio for finally coming together and getting this thing through.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was in the trenches. Y'all know on Locked On Spurs, really talking to both sides, from those that didn't think this was a good deal to those that said, no, we got to go for it. And I can feel it. I felt, just how contentious it was. So much, in fact, that I had so many people on the anti-Project Marvel, find my number. I don't know how they did. And were reaching out to me, literally self-inviting themselves to Locked On Spurs to get their point across. So it got weird at times, but ultimately it went the way I knew it would go. I knew it was going to be close. And somebody asked me earlier today if the Spurs 5-0 start helped push the vote towards it getting approved. I said no.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No, if it really was, it would not be 52-48. That was close, Casey, super close. And you look at the map, the west side collectively were no. South side of Bexar County, no. East side, well, we know they're going to say no, so that was not a surprise. You had, of the four sides, north, south, east, and west, 3 were against. The north side carried the vote, and it was a hairy. So, no, I don't think it had anything to do with it. I think it just really came down to, people on both sides had their strong convictions. Those were against it. You understood why. I even asked those that came on Locked On Spurs, from April and Sarah to the CEO of the Stock Show and Rodeo to the Spurs political consultant himself. All said, yeah, we get what they're saying, the anti-crowd. But at the same time, put it on the scale, it kind of balances. Obviously they're going to push their agenda. And of course, you go on the anti-crowd who had Cops Metro come on. They're like, no, look at the numbers. They were, why are we going to spend this money on another gym when this team has already had 3 gyms? You're going to get a 4th. So you get it. You got both sides. But it did go the way I was expected to go with it getting passed. But I called it on Locked On Spurs and conversations that it was going to be close. And if it had anything to do with the 5-0 start, no. If it was, it probably would have been maybe 60-40 or some sort of that. But 52-48 in voting election world, that is super close.
Interesting. I'm just glad it's over and done with, because I don't doubt their commitment. I don't doubt their commitment to San Antonio. But had that not passed, you don't know what Pandora's box would have.
Then it would have gotten hairy. Then it would have really hairy. But here's the thing: me, Casey, Devin, just tack on another 10 years to your age right now, and that's when you'll see it all over. It's just because it passed everybody does not mean you open your window one day and you see a downtown district.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
It ain't going to happen like that. It's going to take a long, long time. Mm-hmm. It's not going to, we don't even know if Victor will still be a Spur. We don't know. We don't know that. Obviously I hope he will. And all signs are pointing to yes, but Castle, Devin, Keldon, who knows if they'll ever see the new gym in about 10 years. One
thing I do know, of the 3 of us, I'll be the only one who's not 50 years old yet.
Hey, easy there. It's so bad. I've seen all the gyms. I've been in the Hemisphere. Hey, Devin, this is how old I am. I've been to the Hemisphere when it was just one level before they added an upper deck. Before they added the upper deck, and then of course the Alamo Dome, SBC Center, AT&T, now Frost. So I get to see
my mom and dad, we went to a game, and I have a picture. I have to show it on the show one time, but Dr. J actually held me with my mom outside of the game. And him is there. Cool. So that's my only history there. I was really little, and then
I'll give you a little bit more history of the Hemisphere. You used to be able to smoke at your seat. I'm not kidding you. There would be clouds of smoke.
For some reason, I remember that.
Right?
It's crazy.
Yeah. You were allowed to smoke during a game where professional athletes got to be in tip-top shape or they're near you.
So, hey, listen. You know how, you guys love from the player aspect.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that subject with the players that were playing then.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
And LeBron,
although
LeBron in the finals complained of cramping because of the heat. Just imagine.
Exactly.
He would have. then he would have passed out in the hemisphere.
Yeah. Although, wasn't there a spur of lore? Zarko Paspai, y'all heard this about? He would smoke and drink, pregame and halftime.
Nice try, Jeff. I don't know who that is.
Nah.
I don't know who that is. Jarko Paspai. Who?
Yeah, he was like one of the first Euro players, like back when Marcelonis was around, Sabonis was around.
My favorite European player back then that played with the Spurs was Ume Blob.
Oh God, I haven't heard that name in a long time, man. I remember when they brought in a Brazilian guy for one of the South American guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Blob. I remember Paspai. I remember Andrew Gaze from Australia.
Greg Overdeen. You ever heard that name?
Yeah, yes, I heard of that name too. But that was like when Pop was already not. Maybe he wasn't the full-time head coach. I think he was still either executive.
I don't think Pop was downstairs yet.
No, yeah, Pop wasn't downstairs yet. So he was we got to see the early phases of him scouting the Euro side of things. But no, it was definitely fun times in Hemisphere. I to this day, I wish they just kept it up. Just even if they don't play there, just turn into some sort of a convention space or something, because it was historic. Yeah. Everybody you would have to walk up ramps to get to your seat. Ramps. Okay. There were these steep ramps that were painted orange, and as you would go up the ramps, when you get to the point you would level off, there'd be like a hot dog stand or a soda stand or a beer stand. Then you regroup and you go up another ramp and get in there. Here's a little history too. I know I'm showing my age here, and I got to go soon. But if you go to the Henry B. Convention Center, they never tore down the lobby of when you would enter a Spurs game at Hemisphere Arena. You can still see the facade of the ticket boxes there. You can still see it there, and you will still see some of the ramps that were there before they tore it down. So if you want to go take a walk and go back in time, everybody, to the Hemisphere days, just go. It's the one that faces the river. It's on Market Street. I know y'all seen it. It's like one of the main entrances. And it's right on the river. You go there. It's not even maybe 10 feet. Walk in and you can see the original facade of the entrance to a Spurs.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, they can do that while they're checking in with tomorrow with Jeff on Locked On Spurs. Of course, the title pod. Yep. Before we wrap up, because we're running thin on time, 10 seconds. Tell them what's on deck. Go.
Yeah, we got Raul Dominguez coming in to talk all things San Antonio. We preview in depth the Spurs Rockets game, and we look at the road woes, and we get a little bit more deeper dive into what's ailing Wemby.
That was a little more than 10, but we'll give it to you. Of course, then we'll put a bow on things at night with Spurs Rockets at Emirates Cup opener. Devin and I on the postcast will take care of you and have you all through the weekend, back Saturday as well after the New Orleans game. And be sure, in the middle of all that, be sure to check on Locked On Fantasy NBA. Josh Lloyd will have you covered with all these things, and he'll try to navigate you, if you got Wemby on your team, navigate you through all these struggles that he's having. Maybe it changes tomorrow against Houston, but we'll find out. This was fun, guys. Let's do it again. Fun. Same time.
I like the Fiesta jersey are back. I'm
glad you know what? We'll hit that.
We hit that. Now we hit that.
Yeah, we'll hit it. These things are coming back. Drew Eubanks isn't. Maybe one.
Look at that. Look at Drew.
Yeah, we'll take this till we get out of here. The Fiesta uniforms are making their return coming up.
Make them year round. The primary jersey, Spurs.
I'm glad they're back.
The primary jersey. Look at DeMar.
I know. Patty.
Hey, look at that. Mitch Johnson. Mitch Johnson. Look at that.
Look at that handshake.
Yep. Grown man handshake. Baby Keldon is out there too. Rudy Gay.
Look at that.
Yep. Look at that.
That was during COVID, right? It looks like COVID time.
And that's the irony.
Yeah, look at the cutout.
That's the irony. Jakob Pertl there. That's the irony. They wore these in 2020, 2021, and nobody saw them because nobody was allowed in the building. Handful of fans at a time, whatever it was, like 10%.
Yeah.
Anyways, weird times. Glad we're at them. Got to get out of here. For my dear friend, Mr. NBA champion Devin Brown, my other dear friend, Jeff Garcia, my name's Casey. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. This was fun. Another edition of the Spurs Squad Show. We will talk to you guys next time right here on Locked On Spurs.